also openers like Venge Terrorblade, and in general on this patch there seems to be a meta. Teams just first face their carry, and it's so easy to get palm on your hard carry and you can't really counter them, and that's why they're probably first facing Terrorblade. But Phoenix Terrorblade is not that usual of an opener, but you can see why it's good. Like, Terrorblade is stationary and he just needs to be strong and enemies need to be unable to fight into him. And when he just runs at like buildings or goes like deep into a team fight, the Phoenix can just like egg beside him, and if they actually decide to hit the egg, the Terrorblade is gonna kill everyone in 1 second.
Well, yeah, I guess. Plus you can like use the Phoenix for a health refill and just have him use the egg then when he's low health. That one's also a possibility. I mean, of course you always want to ult the enemy with the Terrorblade, but there's a lot of cases where that's not possible. Still, Tiny Snap, I think it's a lot more solid of an opener, and even though, yeah, it's hard to kill carries, it's hard to run them down. Something like Terrorblade, if he does get counted, if you do manage to shut him down, then Hero's just gonna suffer because he has no health pooler early on if you put him up against any kind of a big nuker really. He just doesn't have a lane in my opinion, at least from what I've seen so far in this tournament. And speaking of nukers, you think that's an offlane Void Spirit to deliver some magical damage and be able to bully the Terrorblade out of the lane, or?
Well, I'm not sure most teams are playing on mid lane, but certainly Void Spirit is pretty early there. They probably have a lot of ways to actually counter that hero. We saw like, we had team, it's Liquid, right? They last picked Void Spirit yesterday and he had a super game, but it was last pick, so I'm not sure. Seems to be the matchup against Void Spirit. Ember Spirit is pretty decent, he can dodge the skills, Void Spirit can't really catch him, and those Spirit heroes, they are really a lot of roots.
10 seconds.
So I really like the Ember pick actually.
If it's gonna be a Void Spirit versus Ember Spirit matchup on the mid lane, that would be pretty damn hilarious. I really like that matchup as well because both of them use their shield a ton. Early harass to try and, you know, save themselves a bit of regen, so you're just constantly gonna have those who try and trade regen unsuccessfully until either one reaches level 6 and go for the gank. But I like what Execration are doing here. It's a pretty interesting synergy that they're gonna get going now, plus Magnus Void Spirit. If you hit a good RP, all of that AoE from can really just snowball all over a team. Set up a lot of AoE damage really, but Team Black immediately picking up and undying. I wonder what Black are gonna do, whether it's gonna be a mid lane Ember Spirit or an off lane Ember Spirit with like a mid lane pick last game. They don't really have a frontliner or any kind of tank for that matter, so they really need a bit of health pools on their side. But a lot of people nowadays are just entirely foregoing the tank. They just get some kind of hard disabler, make sure the enemy can't even get in to hit you.
Ten seconds remaining. 5 seconds remaining.
And the last ban by Team Black is gonna be an Urza, which I guess in terms of damage it would make a lot of sense here. He has a very early power curve. His damage just pretty much starts from level 3. From the laning stage, the Fuzzy Wuzzy is just gonna start hitting harder and harder as the game progresses.
5 seconds remaining.
And now it's up to Execration to come up with the last ban. They're gonna ban the Chen, so they're assuming, well, maybe it's just a bit of pet pick for Team Black here. But that would have probably been a position 3 Chen with the Ember Spirit mid lane, Terrorblade obviously position 1. So there have been teams that run the Terrorblade on the middle lane as well, so...
5 seconds remaining.
I wonder if they're gonna go with frontliner or not. They could definitely use a bit of lockdown, and that's gonna be a position 3 who can tank a bit of beating, and most importantly has some much needed crowd control here. That Mars Arena, if you can combo it up with the Ember Spirit, allow him to hit a Slayer Fist onto a ton of people.
10 seconds
It's just
remaining.
pretty damn insane the amount of damage you can do.
5 seconds
As for
remaining.
Execration, I mean, I don't know how they're gonna lane it either. A lot of the heroes can play pretty much most of the core heroes can play position 1 to 3, but with the Magnus, they can just turn him into a tank easily too. He's one of those heroes that becomes pretty near unstoppable in terms of health pool, in terms of armor, if you build him according for that. I wonder, it could also be a position 1 Magnus? So, the only time I've seen that in this tournament so far, it really kind of struggled coming online, having enough late game potential to deal with something like Terrorblade. Yeah, Empower is great to deal with his Illus, but the Illus a lot of times are only half the issue with TB, and the last pick is gonna be a Viper. That's interesting. I mean, it's a pretty tanky hero with a solid amount of damage output. That magic reduction can be insane with something like Snapfire with a Void Spirit here. However, it also means Execration, first, kinda countered by a pipe, and second off, with a team like that, there's no real super late gamer. If that Terrorblade comes online, if that Terrorblade gets like 4 core items, maybe just 3 core items, then I don't think they stand a chance against him, honestly. I think they're gonna struggle a lot, because there's always a chance you could just get a Skull Bash or try to get him bashed up with 3D in emergency on the Magnus, or if the tiny blink has done
5
it.
seconds remaining.
Alright, I'm back just when the draft finished. Actually, it's gonna be interesting. There was a game where eHome actually they played Tiny offlane last week against Terrorblade, and he did really well. So actually, if they put a Tiny offlane, it could be super good this game.
Well, the tiny core I could really see here as well. Who's gonna be the support? Then you think it's gonna be the Pagos on the Magnus support, or?
They go like Magnus carry. I'm not sure what position Vipers know. I don't know. I guess they need to put Snapfire +5 and Tiny +4, else it's gonna be too hot.
Yeah.
But we've seen position 5 Vipers before, right? And we've seen Magnus carries, and we've seen Void Spirit carries, so they're super free how they lane. But maybe it's actually gonna be Viper offlane. I saw Ice play Viper offlane, so maybe they believe it's really good against the Terrorblade.
Well, the thing is, I think that Team Execration are gonna get punished for their lack of late game carries, or do you think they'll make do in terms of scaling?
I think they're actually fine. Like Viper is actually pretty strong late game, and White Spirit is fine. And depending on who's core, I guess it's Magnus. Magnus can actually pre-farm the whole map, and Terrorblade is kinda doing the same. So what's gonna be important in this game is more like who's gonna be able to secure more space on the map for their cross too far, compared to how strong are their carries actually. And I mean, I can see that Terrorblade easily dying to a tiny combo, to a tiny Void Spirit combo. It's actually 2 heroes with tiny as Dagger and Void Spirit and tiny jump at the same time. They can literally kill anyone, and they can also. They don't really care about the Terrorblade Thunder, cause when he gets low, they can just lock him down with RP and finish him off, right?
Yeah, in terms of answers to the Terrorblade, I think there's gonna be a lot, but at some point you gotta keep in mind that hero is gonna have like 30 points of armor, 3-4k of health, and I wonder if even with the Viper, magical resist reduction, the tiny combo plus like Void Spirit damage is gonna be enough at the given point. Because we saw that yesterday too, where it was TNT Pro Team playing with Gabby Terrorblade. And at some point, they played so well, they had answers to the Terrorblade, he died a couple of times, but without enough push, without the ability to finish the game before the Terrorblade came online, it was pretty unpredictable how that went.
Yeah, I think the biggest issue in this game is actually the Phoenix Egg Tombstone combo. I actually can't see them kill the egg and the tombstone in the fights, and if there's a Terrorblade hitting you while you need to handle with 3 melee heroes, tombstone and egg, I'm not sure. I can actually see doing some early stuff like easily taking the tier 1 mid tower, easily forcing tier 2 towers, easily forcing Roshan. So like they need to make a lot of space and control the map on Team Execration.
So you don't think Snapfire is a sufficient answer to like Tombstone and Egg?
I mean he is, but if he wants to hit Tombstone and the egg, he needs to get really close, and if you get close against the Terrorblade, Mars, Ember, he's gonna instantly die. And egg on Phoenix, it has like 1600 range. He can place it in a really smart way, but even if he just does it over aggressive and the Ember takes care of the Snapfire, I still don't see them handle the egg and Tombstone at the same time.
Huh, that's gonna be an interesting interaction. We're gonna see about that. I mean, I kind of see where you're coming from, especially with Team Black just having that much crowd control as well. I mean, once Mars reaches level 6, they can set up pretty much every team fight to go that way. Ember Spirit do great synergy with the Mars. As long as they catch 2 or 3 people in that arena, everyone they catch is dead. And well, we're still paused for a while here, so we can't even see how these matchups are gonna go, how these teams are gonna start off in the laning stage. Are there any cool loaders to look at least? I don't even think so. Okay, the Magnus one isn't bad, I guess. And it seems like those Discord issues are taking a while to resolve. We're still just waiting for the players to be ready. Not really a ton left to talk about either, because both teams went with relatively obvious synergies in terms of what their game plan is. It's gonna be about the execution, also all about the tempo, especially for Execration, I think. Because yeah, if they play it hyper aggressively, just run down the Terrorblade, especially during the laning stage, especially during the first 15 or something minutes, it's gonna be a very hard game. How do you build Viper nowadays anyhow? It's still the typical rot of Atos, so you can get them.
Since we go for early Orchid, You can.
With the corrosive skin, you're already. Any combo. That's also. Hero just about wins every game where he. And it seems like we're really about to struggle with server issues. Yesterday was much better, with me constantly being disconnected from the server as well. But once this game kicks off, it's gonna be highly exciting, especially for me. I'm probably gonna give me something yellow, or just really hope we can get there anytime soon. This Tom Low doesn't look either.
haven't seen Team Black before. Do you know anything about the team or the players? I was checking out after there wasn't much information. Are they like high rank players?
I'm fairly certain they're high ranked, at least in terms of like what they've done in leagues and such. But I haven't heard of them either, and I think they're a relatively new team who are just a bunch of like, well, pub gods, because they have delivered. Their debut in the Chinese was pretty darn impressive. These guys definitely know what they're doing. And Play Hard actually, and RPK fan as well, those two may ring a bell since they've been around for ages. But the team itself, I don't know what to expect either. Yesterday we didn't get to see them in action either as well. It seems like Raging Potato is familiar with them too. But in terms of individual skill, they definitely should disappoint. But they are up against Execration, one of the teams with the most team play experience, who've stuck together the longest in terms of Southeast Asian scene. They've been all over the place. And it looks like we get yet another disconnect, but hey, if with every disconnect his ping goes down a little bit, we're gonna get there eventually. That what counts. Okay, there we finally have a go. Sincerely hope Execration got everything to work out. Southeast Asia. Raging Potato. I'm not sure who's the mid laner here actually, but I think it's gonna be the Void Spirit rather than the Tiny. Tiny started with boots too. So
I'm actually really hyped for the safe lane Magnus. I don't think we've seen safe lane Magnus in recent tier 1 Dota yet.
Oh man, you should have seen yesterday. There was like some really good Magnus action. However, I feel like that hero falls off a lot when played on the safe lane in terms of like how much right damage he can deal, how well he can really carry fight compared to, let's say, Sven or something. Do you think that's just a matter of itemization, or is it just a hero that you need to kind of play momentum based, that you kind of need to run all over your enemy team before you miss your timing really.
I think first of all you need to like your team to combo into RP. See, he can't be as strong as Sven when he has such a strong ultimate that pierces BKB. But yeah, like the new items, like the new Moonshot gives so much attack speed and stuff like that. I think if you itemize like full damage that lose Moonshot, you can kill anyone in 2 seconds.
I'd really like to see that. I'd also really like to see a safe lane Magus taken to the late game and actually play that late game position 1 carry that can just 1v5, because that I have not yet seen despite a lot of position 1 Magus being played already. But up against the freaking Terror Blade who once he's well
Yeah, actually Viper is getting pushed in really hard into her tower. Usually what I saw on the Viper, they usually take Nanotoxin or Corrosive skill level 1. It's actually going for the poison attack. So it's not really good at out pushing the lane and struggling a bit. Terror Blade actually has a super interesting item build. He's starting on a full red band. I haven't seen that as well. No Quelling Blade.
I've seen a bunch of no Quelling Blades.
Soak it in!
Vince is getting dangerously low on Ember. He might actually die if Viper gets some more poison takes in. Nice first blood.
Yeah, that's gonna do it alright. And Ken, he seems to just be set up for a very one-sided lane actually. Since Ember Spirit, he's one of those heroes, that's also why I think he took the poison attack. Ember likes to trade regen. You're kind of supposed to use your mana pool and trade it for the opponent's health. Opening on the top lane, Phoenix got dropped as well. Just nuked down with a cookie. And it looks like Execration, they're off to a perfect start on pretty much both of the Airblade lanes. Now getting a kill on the Undying as well.
Yeah, Magnus is actually, he didn't skill Empower on level 2. So this is probably the build where they kind of want to scare people into tower.
Well, I always say if you can't farm creeps, just go farm heroes. But I feel like if he's skipping the Empower, he kind of needs to compensate by actually setting up for a kill here. Oh well, that was quickly.
Another guy in the tower, holy shit. That's big.
They just instantaneously killed off that Mars too. And now Magnus takes 2 level in Empower, can now just take his time, go farming whatever he pleases, without having to worry too much, while being very darn hard to fight as well.
But if we actually look at that verse, the Ember Spirit is doing kind of well against the Viper. Even though he like died, he's still keeping up on the tower. Like the Viper is not fully zoning him. But now there's a dive maybe. Nah, Viper's cancelling.
I admit nothing but my sadness.
Viper isn't under any pressure. Yeah, I get it, Ember Spirit a little bit more of a late game hero. Until level 6 he can't really be all that relevant. You really want to have your triple rem to enable kills, but the thing, Viper is pretty far ahead in terms of experience, and it's also one of those heroes where if you find again, if you just find a rotation when the enemy pushes out lane, you can pretty much always punish them. Your ultimate is just so good for, well, seems that we may just see it in action as Ken immediately running after the potential victim. That's gonna be the Ember Spirit who immediately has to teleport out of there. And he tapped out the tower, which is almost gonna lead to his death. The Slayer pissed, plus a bottle is gonna save him there. On the top lane, Magnus getting pinned to the tree, and that's gonna be a kill. Going to the Phoenix Mars combo. We keep seeing this thing for like 3 or 4 metas in a row and always seems to do the trick. It's a very hard upgrade to play against, and if you get to a tree, you pretty much always get punished by the Phoenix. Terrorblade being the next one to get ran at with the Avalanche Toss combo, and Void Spirit is gonna catch him.
Yeah,
Still no ult.
was a beautiful toss.
Yeah. If Terrorblade hits level 6, I think he should immediately skill the Thunder, just because he is gonna get ran at from now on. Every single time that Metamorphosis is down, people are gonna try to run down the Terrorblade, prevent that hero from coming online in the first place. I did say that Team Black have the way better late game, and if the teams play about equally, he should be favored at some point, simply because Terrorblade is better at carrying a game single-handedly. But Execration, they're already pulling ahead. They're already pushing their momentum here, taking a ton of money. Terrorblade doesn't even have level 6 yet. Viper also just pretty much continuously zoning away this on the Ember Spirit.
Are fortified.
Any evidence of a game.
Oh, I think Undying misclicked his ward.
Oh yeah, I can see it.
Radiant's middle tower is under attack.
I mean, I guess that happens to the best of him. He'll still get a keyword for getting tossed into the Viper and killed off at least.
It might be intended though, cause if they sentry up there, they're not gonna find this ward. So they still get like vision on the river, maybe.
I guess I don't think this is actually that bad of an observer ward spot either. You get the rune spot covered and 2 tiny slivers, which is more than enough to spot out a gank if you see somebody coming for you and have decent map awareness.
Yeah,
Radiant's
actually
middle
it's a
tower
really
is
good
under
ward. I
attack.
just clicked on it and it also spots like the staircase.
Oh, and Undying, he wants to continue the vision wars, doesn't even get to D ward, instead just takes a bunch of damage to the face and is gonna go down once again. Phoenix, meanwhile, denying himself to the Roche, as now Ember Spirit fighting against 2 here. He's dishing out a lot of damage. Fortunate Invis Rune is gonna make this draw go a lot better for Snapfire, and Viper, he runs up the high ground straight into Terrorblade with a bunch of Illus behind him. Cross Metamorphosis, but Ember Spirit is gonna die for that one, and Void Spirit looking for more. There's Cookie. Terrorblade locked in place and taken down. He did not in fact skill the Thunder at level 6, so doesn't really have the means to defend himself when there's 2 or 3 melee heroes just giving him a big old hug.
Well, he got the Viper kill though, it's unlucky because
Oh, they're gonna get the Magnus kill on the top lane. Sorry to interrupt you there, but Palos is gonna hit the floor. So, you were saying?
Yeah, like if he got the Viper kill and died there, it's actually fine, but he just used the meta, so he could have used that meta for having an insane farming speed, and now he's actually stuck being in melee.
Yeah, there were a bunch of stacks for him too, so I think he was planning to rock the meta anyways and live. He just didn't get to live, and once again, this time around he did skill the Thunder, but now he's squishy. Now the tiny Void Spirit combos pulling ahead. They got their nuke damage, and Terrorblade just gets killed up from full health before he even has any chance to defend himself.
Dire's
Yeah,
middle
the
tower
bot lane is kinda a dead lane now, since that Undying for some reason died a lot and didn't really manage to secure the lane for Terrorblade. Now he can't really go there anymore, now he's getting dark as well.
Ember Spirit
Radiant's
isn't
bottom
having a
tower
much
is
better
under attack.
lane, but looks like Execration, if they're able to continue this hyper aggression, if they're able to continue building their lead, this may just end up being a very one-sided game at this rate. Of course, Once Terrorblade starts to come online, once the Ember Spirit starts to become an actual relevant force in those fights, still a good chance for Execration to take control back of this game, or to lose control of this game still. However, they're supposed to be the aggressors. They're 3k ahead by the 10-minute mark. I think this is all going according to their plan.
Yeah, I think they don't have many plays left right now. I think they kind of need to bait them to like gank the Terror Plate and be ready with everyone behind him and turn it around. Or even go for a super high risk and make Terror Plate use that meta on the tier 1 tower mid or on top lane.
Phoenix is almost level 6, and once that attack comes out, I think like just rotating the Mars and the Phoenix together, having those two go for their combo to try and set something up, just any kind of pickup kill, would also just help create a lot of space, allow Terrorblade maybe go into a bunch of positions he can't be in right now, you know, secure extra GPM, but it looks like we got
on mid.
That exact combo happened here on mid lane, or at least them try and set up for it with Ember Spirit serving as bait.
Yeah, actually, if you click on the Tiny, he's close to a really important item.
Radiant's bottom tower
Boy, that's gonna be some insane blink dagger timing here, actually. I mean, BDZ, he's just gonna get a pre-15-minute blink dagger on Tiny. Then what do you build to? Oh, first we got Undying spot here with the follow-up cookie and the toss back into the. Oh, that's a bit of miscommunication actually. They're tossing Undying into an ulti Snapfire, and Snapfire is gonna get punished for it. It seems like doesn't have the little shredder yet to deal with Phoenix. Phoenix is just gonna go off, not catching anyone, but Tiny is still gonna go down to the fist there from the Ember Spirit.
Oh boy, this is how you throw the game. And meanwhile, Terrorblade is like having fun farming this, like a lot of space on the map.
Yeah, and he went for drums too, so I think RPK fan recognized, okay, I don't really have a game here. I just get one shot before I have any means to defend myself, so he's tanking up, he's just playing not to lose right now rather than playing to win. As a Terrorblade, you really do have the space for that, you really do have the scaling for that. At a given point, you're always gonna come online just because you can send Illus to split push out lanes.
I think drums is really good since the attack speed scales out on your illusions and movement speed and stats as well. I think there's probably like two builds right now. You either go drums or Midas Terrorblade.
Yeah, the Midas build I'm a big fan of, especially because, well, in the Metamorphosis, with a Midas, the attack is actually really insane early on.
But I think the game is too hard to go Midas. If he goes like Midas, he can't come back and fight on top.
Yeah, well, fight more of a pickup onto the Void Spirit there. Raging Potato just instantly getting executed. And Execration, they're actually mirroring this movement for people on their side, going for the bot tier 1 tower. And it was a dead lane for a while, like you said. Magnus just gonna kill off that tower and continue pushing the lane. Traded for a near full health tier 1 tower on the top lane though. With Terrorblade just finally being able to put all of his insane damage into an objective.
Yeah, they used the meta there. I felt like they actually could have taken it without the meta, but I mean, it's gonna make it a lot faster so they can go back to farming.
And we now got a smoke from the side of Execration looking for anyone here.
This is actually the move that might hurt them. Like if they just stand around Terrorblade now and protect him on triangle, and actually, but yeah, looks like they're farming a bit too greedy. Might actually be a really good move here.
Mark's getting caught. It's gonna use the ultimate even, and I think he may very well still die. He's just doing his best to escape. In come the Mortimer Kisses, trying to secure the kill, not quite able to so far. So that's another combo for the Tiny, and at the very least, an Undying as the consolation strike, so BDZ is almost getting killed up himself there. At least until Phoenix may have dived a little bit too far, and hope he's gonna live with like 30 health actually.
Yeah, that was actually insane Mars play. He just used his bear last second to get a Viper out of range. Like most people.
And that's gonna be the Phoenix assassinated there by Raging Potato, who's looking for more onto play hard and is gonna get that. Not quite. Okay, there we go.
Even a
Oh, this is so deep and they're not getting punished.
Yeah. Oh, wait. You're not gonna take that last hit. Never mind.
Chasing the Terrorblade as well. I want to force him out of jungle now. His Viper has the Orchid, so he might actually die if he's not careful.
Oh, that's actually really scary. That's the real terrible being caught. Viper ultimate, Nether Toxin. Phoenix comes in with the heal, but not enough to allow Terrorblade get off his ultimate. Can immediately getting that Orchid to pay for itself, and did the top lane as well. It looks like Execration, they're now in complete control of the map. While Black still need to get their position 1 to keep on farming up.
Radiant's top tower is under
Well,
attack.
securing GPM,
Radiant's
Ken
top tower is
is
falling.
gonna get caught in the Mars arena there, and this could be a dead Viper, but so far Viper still okay.
Radiant's
Finally
top
dead
tower
in exchange
is
for the
under
Undying, and Mars it seems here as well, despite the Mars arena being used there, and now the Phoenix getting ran. Can he get away? He's trying his hardest. It's gonna get used up though, and no. Raging Potato just finishing off that kill. He's got amazing timing on that Spirit Vessel as well, on the Void Spirit here. Getting percentage-based damage way before it's even necessary or effective for that matter. But blocking the healing and just having that item finished up this early on is pretty darn insane.
Yeah, might catch the Ember.
And they got him. Even committing to make sure he's absolutely certainly dead, can't just remnant out or whatever. Raging Potato immediately teleporting, knowing full well there's currently no stun or other catch available. And Terrorblade, whenever he shows on the lane, is gonna get pressed, gonna get ran at.
Master Tiger, they wanna go here. This might actually turn out really well.
Well, 10 seconds till the arena. Maybe they don't even need it. Chasing down the position 1 Magnus. Obscure, but he does have Snapfire to back him up. Does manage to get up the high ground. Phoenix trying to burn him down still, but nope, he taunts and gonna be just fine. Snapfire may not be so lucky as now the arena is on cooldown. But I feel like they should have waited just a couple of seconds to make sure the Mars arena is on cooldown. Viper dying on the bottom lane, trying to kill off the Terrorblade. Seems like a deal, especially because that's a kill going around to the Terrorblade, who really needs any bit of gold that he can get.
slow now.
Yeah, the Terrorblade kill is super comeback for them.
Radiant's middle tower is under attack.
I don't, but actually the game is not going that bad for Black. Like, if you look at Magnus last hits in Netverse,
Yeah, I think they
okay, so
realized, like you said, they were farming too greedy, and they should have stayed protecting the Terrorblade. That's what they're doing now. They always keep 1 or 2 heroes, at the very least nearby him, and since then they've been looking a lot stronger. Whether that is strong enough, though, remains to be seen, because in BDZ he blinks forward. There's a ton of damage together with Raging
Radiant's
Potato.
bottom tower is under attack.
Execration, they're still looking for any single pickup they can get. They don't necessarily just run at the Terrorblade if that is for the target presenting themselves, of course. But yeah, this game, this is how the usual Magnus position 1 goes. Where he's insanely farmed, with a ton of right click damage, but he still just feels kinda meh, honestly. Like a bit of oh, there's another fight breaking loose there at the Mars arena. The Phoenix act this time around, getting committed as well, and will be a quick kill on BDZ. We want to synergize that with Rage Potato there now, however. Looks like Execration could potentially turn it around. Ember he didn't have mana for a Rem and Rem on cooldown as well. Viper now still looking for that kill. And with the RP on 2 people, gonna be pretty much an entire team over, except for that Phoenix and the Terrorblade, of course, who isn't even grouping up with his team. He sees the fight coming and immediately runs away. right move to make, but that's still 4 for nothing based off of one good RP. Everyone from Execration not getting out, but instead running at the Terror
Dire's
Blade some
middle
more.
tower is under attack. Dire are scanning.
Not sure why Ember went for Blade Mail.
Not gonna work out.
Like
Dire's
usually you
top
see
tower
people
is under
use
attack.
if people build like Orchid, but he actually went Blade Mail, and I think he's gonna die even if he activates it, and they don't really care about return damage since they can just split the damage they do to him.
Mine.
Yeah, I'm not sure what this is goals either, like which kind of build he opts to go for. If there is a late game, he's now saving up for BKB, and I think that's definitely a way better answer to an Orchid, and Ember Spirit BKB should allow him to fight for another 10 minutes or something, but after that he really needs to get damage, either magical or physical, and it's gonna be the payload position. He does have the BKB, so he's gonna skewer out, and it goes straight to Plato, looking to turn, but Terrorblade with the Metamorphosis does have the depth to work with. Phoenix, he can just dive, get silenced up, and tie with an Avalanche Toss is gonna finish that one. And Die trying to get out of there in the flash go. She turns around now with the arena on Magnus. He should not have blinked forward, gets punished still. That is... Oh, Execration. They're just gonna keep losing more, but they do finally get the Terrorblade kill. That's the one person why they kept on committing to this fight. They kept on risking their position one life, and they do finally get it. Do you think that's worth it, trading Magnus' Terrorblade there?
I guess it's since they're behind, it's okay to go for those trades, but I think they just got a bit too greedy. I should have just taken that tier 1 tower. I don't think this Terrorblade had to die.
Well,
Yeah,
neither
also
Magnus nor the Terrorblade had to die, honestly. But in the end, Execration, they blinked the low health Magnus forward again, just to try and get a good go on the Terrorblade. In the end, both of those cores ended up dying, and now we're here with a 10k gold lead, which is actually super significant, but I feel like it doesn't really matter all that much when there's a Terrorblade across the board, and that insane Phoenix plus Mars combo as well, because what money do you need for Phoenix and Mars to work? You need a Blink Dagger on the Mars, maybe that's it, so you can hit your arena. And Black have that. They don't really need anything else in order to be able to at the very least disengage or, you know, defend when they're getting gone off.
yeah, I think next fight, if the Phoenix doesn't get caught in the Orchid, it's a lot easier. I don't think you're supposed to get caught on Orchid with Phoenix. He should have enough ways to stay out of hook and act from there.
You did notice the Blink Dagger reveal on Viper though, right?
I think she added a long while.
Or, yeah, that could also be possible, though I don't think Phoenix knew that Viper had a Blink Dagger yet. That may also just be a good argument as to why your teammates should always bring out big items like that, because Phoenix, he went for a really cocky Icarus dive, and I think he was planning to press aggro right next to the tier 1 tower pretty much, and then there was suddenly a Viper next to him.
Yeah, he gave her reaction time to use Orchid instead of like using the egg halfway in the dive. And Viper's catching Ember, he's using the Blade Mail. Actually, Viper's dying, not Ember.
In a one-on-one, this is actually huge, especially this is where those 8% spell life steal for Viper would have really mattered, and Ember Spirit isn't even gonna take out Viper. If he has one more poison, it's a different story entirely. But, oh, on the mid lane, 2-man RP, Terrorblade with the BKB, doing his best to man fight up, but now BKB ends and the Terrorblade stunned up. It's just gonna die without the Thunder being available, and it looks like play hard. Gotta be the next fall on his Mars. Yeah, Ember Spirit, he won the 1v1 against Viper, but the 4v4 of the mid lane was lost in exchange. I'm kind of surprised Execration haven't gone for a Roche yet. Maybe they don't realize how far ahead they actually are in terms of gold, in terms of power, when they do have their big abilities available.
Radiant's middle tower is under attack.
Refuse good.
And it looks like Ember Spirit being
Radiant's
used,
top
but does have
tower is
time to
under
press
attack.
BKB with the Blade Mail, doing his best to get out of there in one piece. And there's Raging Potato jumping forward once again with the Snapfire. Phoenix is gonna go down, and Raging Potato, he decides to go back rather than forward. Snapfire looking for a kill on Ember with the numerous kisses. Not quite gonna find that firing blind though, and he's gonna get killed up there. Viper once again bringing forward, looking for catch this time around on the Terrorblade. Raging Potato was there to help out his buddy Viper, but the Ember Spirit now gets caught in exchange, and this time around he is gonna go down. Magnus with the skewer, setting up another kill on the end, dying. The last one left is Terrorblade. Speed gets rolled up, dragged out of position, almost nuked down. We'll get the center up at least to keep himself alive, but only thanks to his BKB, and that's I think 8 seconds, 9 actually. That was the 9-second BKB actually.
Radiant structures are fortified.
The BKB charge for your life is definitely worth it. But next time Execration go for a push like that, Terrorblade can just repeat that.
A bauble from the void.
So, what do you think Black need to do in order to create the space that Terrorblade needs till he finally stands a chance against Execration? Because honestly, his build is screaming, playing not to lose, with the Saint Yasha and the Black King bar. He doesn't really have anything in the means of damage. He doesn't really have any big core item like the Skadi either. And I just feel like until he gets something like that, he's gonna have a very hard game here.
Yeah, I guess they just use like Terrorblade illusions to outpush lanes and actually there's a fight.
Yeah, there's gonna be the Mars Arena immediately catching the Tiny, while elsewhere the Phoenix goes on down on the top lane. So hero dying top, a hero dying bottom seems like.
Oh, he walked into the sentry.
Looks like Raging Potato could still be a bit of
Radiant's
trouble,
top
but
tower
no,
is under attack.
not yet at
Dire's
least.
bottom tower is under attack.
Juking it out beautifully there, but now the spells are on cooldown and he keep juking it would appear. Nice shield there, making sure he gets max value out of that one. And Raging Potato actually still left. He doesn't have any Yules left. And another step. Look at him creating space, constantly kiting 3 people around with his team in the mid lane. In comes Terrorblade, trying to make that 4, but Raging Potato still looking for his life. That's his last
Finally.
charge, and he
Radiant's
goes
middle
down.
tower is under attack.
That was fun to watch.
Yeah, anyway, my point what they should do, they should probably only choose like one small area to play in and then try to bait Execration into a bad fight. I don't think they can win a even fight.
Well, they
So
can't
then-
split push either, as you could just see by that Phoenix getting wrecked. Now that Magnus has an assault crisp. And this is about typical position 1 Magnus. I don't think he's gonna keep scaling much harder, at least I don't know how he would. And I really do wanna, well, okay, Abyss Blade. That's fair. I really do want to see this Magnus just be an absolute monster for the remainder of the game.
Dire's bottom tower is under attack.
And down goes the Roche.
Dire's
In comes
bottom
Ember
tower
Spirit,
is under
dishing
attack.
out some pretty huge damage to everyone, but it seems like Ember now opting for that Aghanim Scepter. He's really just looking to make the most out of the damage he has built into his toolkit rather than going for, I don't know, a Desolated job out the Terrorblade maybe or something like that.
Alright.
Great. Gonna find the kill on the Ember Spirit this time around. Agnes with a decent amount of attack speed plus a Skull Basher has a pretty easy time going for those solo kills. And Tiny walks up the high ground and people, but his team is able to rejoin him in time before he dies. Right? Cocky plays right going that far forward. RPK fan, what's the matter? Wants to somehow carry this fight on his Terrorblade, and the damage is definitely there. However, he doesn't really get into the hits he wants to. Snap fire. Voice took away, but now there's the RP on two, and both of them are gonna die. Next up, it's gonna be the Mars. Tiny just tossing his pal out of the arena, making sure that the Void Spirit is gonna get another kill, and that's full-blown team wipe for now. I don't think Black expected Tiny to just walk high ground like that without a team behind him. And they really didn't expect being completely surrounded there. So all of a sudden, Execration 28k ahead, and I think if they can just keep pushing here, it may very well be GG.
Radiant's middle tower.
Yeah, I think at this point the game is over. I lost like I think when they didn't contest the Roshan fast enough, this was kinda the nail in their coffin.
Yeah,
Radiant structures are
it was
fortified.
a pretty good game from the side of Black still, but they just could not deal with Execration immediately starting the game, winning 2 out of the 3 lanes. The only one who really had a good lane going for himself was the Terrorblade, and
Radiant's middle barracks has
from
fallen.
the point where you said it, they were farming too greedy. They just weren't able to
Radiant's
fully
top
recover.
tower is under attack.
I do wonder if Black learned from this, though, if they're gonna play a lot more safe, a lot more disciplined with a really hero like Terrorblade in the next game, or if they're gonna try to be the aggressors themselves. I'm definitely curious to see how it goes. Because all of the games here in the cup are best of 2.
Has fallen.
And GG is being called there. Looks like Black finally realizes themselves that this is over. Let's see how it's gonna go next game.
Oh, it felt like this Undying didn't work out for some reason and was like total disaster, so...
There was one good tombstone at the top lane brawl, but other than that, I completely agree with you. He just got melted pretty much every time. Then again...
Radiant team back. Dire team back. Dire team pick.
A lot of the right moves, but they simply couldn't keep their terror rates if they simply didn't get position 1 to actually carry. And this time around we can already see them go for a vastly different approach. Clockwork, Batrider, 2 huge initiators, great disabled, great for just hitting your enemy before they can even react without giving them any space. Counter your advance. Execration, however, they immediately secure that Raging Potato, Void Spirit once again, and I mean, that hero was highly successful last game, did insane amount
10
to
seconds
secure
remaining.
all of those hard to reach kills, and a lot of dives that a
5
lot of
seconds
pretty much
remaining.
every other hero in Dota other than maybe a Puck or something couldn't have made, as well as the Treant Protector, which I haven't seen in a while.
Radiant team ban.
I mean,
Dire team ban.
you're there.
Yeah, but what do you think about Batrider? Is it like Batrider, like they do Team Liquid?
Most of the Batriders I've seen have been mid lane. However, most of the mid lane Batriders I've seen have honestly lost pretty damn hard because
10
they simply
seconds
don't deal
remaining.
damage. Don't have the tankiness. They just, you know,
5 seconds
Batriders
remaining.
pretty much get Batrided where one hero jumps them, disables them, then they are worthless if they're played on the mid lane a lot. And I think that that's such a big weakness that you shouldn't pick that hero mid lane, but I could very well see Team Black attempt it nonetheless.
Yeah, actually, since the meta shifted, and you usually take 1v5 carry on safe lane. I'm meeting Team Nigma, he was playing first phase Batrider yesterday against the Lions. He was destroying. So I bet enough if you just pick that hero and run at enemies and create space.
I can definitely see it work out. It really depends on how well the carry matchup goes, on generally how well the rest of the teams as well. I mean, with
10
Clockwork,
seconds
I
remaining.
really don't feel like you should put the Batrider mid, to be honest, because you already have the hook
5
on
seconds
initiation.
remaining.
You already have all you need, and I don't think people
Dire
ever
team
play
back.
Batrider for damage anymore, right? Can't just like become late game magical damage dealer like in an Ogre would or something, or am I mistaken there?
If ways to scale Batrider, by getting more
Dire
tanky
team
and by
pick.
being more tanky, you go burn and skills and. I've also seen riders that went for like Radiance against heroes like PL and stuff. But yeah.
Radiance Batrider, that I would definitely be on board with. Most of the time
10
I've seen it so
seconds
far, it
remaining.
was usually something like BKB Shivas, like you said. Just become
5
tanky,
seconds remaining.
just allow yourself as much movement, as much space as you can around the map. But
Radiant team pick.
a lot of times you simply don't have the damage to close out the game, you don't have the damage to really, well, fight when that 1v5 carry is dead, and that's a Spectre pick for Execration.
They also buffed like the new Kaya items, and the
10
Kaya items
seconds
are also
remaining.
increased their lifesteal, so I could definitely see a
5
Batrider
seconds remaining.
going like super late and getting the punch or Kaya and the Octane core.
That I would love to see. It actually seems, I remember you used to play that a lot too, back when you could just like stack 4 or something like that, napalm or like stacks of flame break on somebody, and cooldowns were all really broken on Batrider. You could just deal insane damage, and I feel like if you play him as a damage dealer with, like you said, a Kaya item after your BKB Shivas, or with a Radiance, even depending on what works out that game, he can definitely be a relevant mid laner. That is, of course, if Team Black choose to run a mid at all, since seems like the Spectre pick kinda caught them off guard here.
Do you know if Batrider items actually target illusions?
The second Lasso proc, right? I don't think it does, or at least it has hero priority at least. because you can always pretty much just drag a Phantom Lancer out. They are using up pretty much all of their reserve time here. Only got a bit more than 30 seconds remaining, and they still have to think of 2 picks after this. So they better find an... Hey, that's the Invoker I just mentioned. I guess they're pretty much set on their mid lane, or do you think it's an Invoker support mid lane bat right here?
Oh, that's probably a Thompson Invoker, I don't know. But yeah, I think you can still play Invoker all position.
Yeah,
5 seconds remaining.
I completely agree. I really love Invoker too. He is such a strong and just insanely broken hero nowadays.
Oracle.
I mean, I can actually see the class Invoker do a lot of work this game. Like Spectral ult, just tornado everything. Wait for the Spectral ult to end. If people get like Oracle ulted, just disable them, disarm them, ice wall them. I'm not sure about this Oracle pick. It kinda seems a bit off, but obviously Oracle against Sapphire is insanely good.
Dire team ban.
Yeah, I don't mind the Oracle so much as the combination of Oracle and Spectre here. I mean, Spectre is a hero who with dispersion likes to take a lot of damage to the face, who really just wants to get up in there and yeah, kind of make use of the passive blade mail, if you will.
10 seconds
Oracle
remaining.
is a hero you usually put with like anti-mages, terrible, anything that's squishy, anything that really benefits off of that false prophet. And I don't think
Radiant team ban.
Spectre at all gets enough value from that to justify picking a support that's pretty much only defensively used when it comes to team fights as such.
I just feel like actually the Spectre Oracle would be so weak, be then to like start
10 seconds remaining.
or something. No, they actually could do that. Like I'm really sure the Oracle
5
pick.
seconds
And also like
back.
this Oracle, okay, he can't them Invoker, but on this Invoker and potentially Clock, they're gonna have the ability to sort of imagine this Clock gets a rocket and he can just jump on the Oracle. And if it's not Clockwork, I'd rather can just chill and only jump on Oracle.
10
So
seconds remaining.
in this game, they have like, especially with the Ravage, it makes so much
seconds
space in the team from space to actually initiate Oracle, so it's not like he's gonna make the game a lot harder for Bedride, in my opinion.
Yeah, I was gonna mention that Ravage as well, because not only like it makes a ton of space in the team fights, but it also means that Team Black,
Radiant
they are now
team
free to pick whichever hero they feel inclined to for that position. One Urza would have been huge. That benefits of the Ravage. Really anything with illusions or like upscaling damage does. There's a whole bunch of ultra late game melee carries
10
that are
seconds
still...
remaining.
I would also like to see Jagger, honestly. He's not that bad.
5 seconds remaining.
Either way, Team Black, they do have to come to a conclusion here within the next 30 seconds or less. And I wonder what they're gonna go with.
Necrophos.
Oh boy, it's all in lineup.
Yeah, not sure what to think of this. I mean, honestly,
I think like Cross would have heroes against Oracle. He
10
can
seconds
just
remaining.
nullify the magic damage of his ult, he can purge
5
Ghost
seconds
Shroud.
remaining.
Sure, with 3 melees and Necro is probably gonna lane against the melee and is gonna have a nice time, but I really don't feel that Necro.
yeah, me neither, to be honest. Mostly because Team Black last game they already went all in on the Terror Blade, and Execration is such an easy despite us talking during the draft about how hard it is to shut down carries nowadays and all. They still had a pretty easy time just running down the Terror Blade, denying him any and all space, making sure he doesn't get any breathing room, and now Team Black, they want once again gonna go all in this time around on a Necrophos. And
may now
Execration, they
select your
just seem too
heroes.
good at punishing that kind of behavior, you know?
Okay, it's actually Magnus mid. I'm not a fan of that as well. I think Magnus is kinda vulnerable but out of control, cause you don't have a lot of movement until you have BKB, and when you have BKB, if you can get kited, the fight is spot for you, and actually bad for the lasso or in Quassex Invoker maybe. Even at night you can't P him, so I actually don't feel that Magnus as well. Magnus less but it might be a bit too much greed. Since they have that
10
all-in
seconds
lineup
remaining.
and pick-off lineup, they might not be able to farm that much. And also
5
like the Empower
seconds
against
remaining.
Invoker Tornado is gonna be disappeared all from the course. So I'm not sure about Magnus, like, kind of opinion look a bit of intuitive, but I guess this might know what they like. If Team Black are actually insanely strong and they can like push their timing to Necro, they might be able to lose the game for creating like any farm of their cross.
Yeah, and it's a mid lane Magnus. I don't think it's that. I honestly don't think it's that bad because Magnus, he's got a good escape with the scoop. It's actually a super solid lane against the mid lane Invoker. Even if the Invoker, you know, ends up having a couple more left, ends up being the range hero that can bully you into submission, you're always gonna be able to escape his stuff. You're always gonna be able to at the very least not die to him. I mean, Raging Potato on that Void Spirit, you saw what he did last game. You saw that insane RP into pretty much all of Void Spirit AOP onto 2 or 3 people every.
Prepare for battle.
So it looks like mid Invoker, post Bedrocker. Necro hasn't bought his items yet. Clock post 4.
Well, RPK fan obviously in that position 1.
Yeah, looks like a carry. He can't decide what items to get.
Maybe he's... Yeah, I think so. Unless he's gonna do some cheese stuff where he starts without any item, just go into the lane and then buy something expensive. I don't think people do that still, do they?
No. He went for full Dota on this one. I actually disagree on that build, cause probably
30
you don't
seconds
really
to
need
battle.
mana region or the Salon fire, since you have like the Sardis out inside Hearthstone aura, and yeah, no, like I would have rather seen, like Mosts or Magic Stick or like Fairy Fans and Bronze, so I don't really feel an Ultra this month, but let's be better.
I mean, mana region, on the one hand I kinda agree with you, on the other, if you hit level 3 you can kind of proc the saddest with the death pools where you just do what a Queen of Pain does. You set all of the creeps up, press Q, and all of a sudden you got like 3 lastits or something. You need a little bit of mana to be able to sustain last hitting with the death pools, but it does make it impossible to deny against you. And RPK fan, I feel like if Team Black wanna have a serious shot at this game, they're going to need every bit of gold they can get, every little advantage in the laning stage, honestly. Plus, this is once again just Raging Potato, the freaking best White Spirit spammer within all of like Southeast Asia, if you ask me, or at the very least the best one I've cast so far. He's not gonna give Necro a free lane at all.
Oh, Bevada is 5 steps in trend, but he is fine actually. I guess Invoker is gonna have a really rough time at the start, since Magnus has like 90 damage and Invoker has 50 damage, so if Magnus plays clean up a lot of region. He probably gonna get all denied and last hits.
Yeah, this should definitely be a Magnus favorite lane too. I do wonder if Invoker is gonna go Quest Wax or Quest Exort.
No, this is 100% gonna be Sway. I'm sure if you go Exort or Thompson style 4 levels Exort into Vex, he would probably have started on Exort on level 1 thing. So I'm actually sure it's gonna be Vex Invoker.
That's fair, I guess. So it seems like a bit of a waste when I look at the damage that the freaking... Oh, wait, I gotta do my overlay here real quick. Thanks for letting me know, chat. Creations on the right. But the thing is, the Cataclysm plus Ravage combo. That thing is freaking... nothing to be sneezed at, you know? That just... pretty much... that can just pretty much single-handedly ruin games already. Yeah, I just like the amount of gold that Invoker can secure most of the time as well when he's going Exort and hits a couple of Sunstrikes. Because I feel like when you're already lasting this poorly in the lane, going Quest Wax, like, how do you make use of that? How does this Invoker, who can't now last it like you said against Magnus, how does he get in control?
Well, you tornado for leveling the range creep, and if you time it right, like when you just use the power and tornado, tornado EMP, he's gonna be out of mana, he have him power on cooldown and removed. I guess it's pretty strong with lane, like Tops was always the strongest lane yesterday.
Also, another thing that wouldn't have surprised me all that much would have been the Titan to just go full freaking like position 1 right click damage. Don't people do that anymore? I remember people playing like carry Tidehunter, where you just anchor slam the hell out of people, get a couple of attack modifiers, you know.
No way, but he has dominant Q. Like, I think it's always flat on tight and then kind of see how the game goes. Does your team need, or do you really need? But going full damage on bot lane is like, at all, I think.
Yeah, no, not on the off lane. I mean, like, back when, before they had put Necro for safe lane, going like, damage Titan to safe lane with an off lane Necropose instead.
I don't think it's viable at all.
Well, honestly, so far RPK fan doesn't make his Necropose seem all too viable either against this lane. Of course, he is stabilized in all likelihood, but this bottom lane is just struggling. So, Black, they may need a bunch of other options here.
Yeah, but usually everyone struggles against Ren early. Yeah. Not sure.
I mean, everyone struggles against Tree early, that's an entirely fair point. However, Necropose isn't exactly a Terror Blade or an anti-mage who is going to enjoy waiting till the game's been 50 minutes long and then 1v5 the entire enemy team, you know? That's why I feel this is so horrible for the Necro. Any other lane-oriented agility carry especially, I feel like would have gotten away with this.
No, they didn't really experience with patent Necro, and he didn't have level 2 really. And I feel like to make sure they try to get some early levels and they can like, handle the trend. But same as last time, it seems like the life of Black, he's not prioritizing farm the experience anymore. Yeah, if you look towards playing Magnus is like a huge gold advantage, but by standing his ground and doing a lot of damage on it.
If it's 4 whole lasts on the Invoker, I mean when you're 10 lasts behind, it's, I don't know, really do think like Black are a very promising team, and last game they also made a lot of right moves, but they're losing the bottom lane on a Necrophos who isn't really the best of ultra late gamers. They're losing the mid lane on the Invoker way harder than any Invoker ever should lose this lane. And I mean, I guess top lane is at least going kind of tight on the field here, play hard, just having a pretty good time in this game.
Yeah, I think lane is going down though. The only problem is the next lane. I think to be winning.
We're gonna see the mid lane once.
Oh.
Yeah.
Tower.
Joker, he does have a lot of health regen still. Those crosses does very fire there, but
Oh, he got full damage from Magnus, but well, next turn he might be able to dispel it. Ah, it's bottled.
yeah, and I think Magnus is gonna save that one till he gets nice up close and personal, but we do have to keep an eye on this mid lane now, because while that rune is at the bottle, just insane kill potential. The Spectre Oracle lane going about as you said during where both these heroes are struggling, but they do finally find a kill on the Clockwork. Pretty much trading his life away for about farm that the Spectre is missing, but I don't think Spectre minds too much. Losing top lane, making sure that you're setting up for the late game here is already enough.
That's a lot of bounty runes. Oh.
Execration, oh man. I do not think that this is how Black imagined this game to go. Execration more than a K ahead, 5 minutes into the game, and also having, I mean, okay, if it was like early game against late game and Black still need to bring their heroes online for a while, would be a different story entirely, but like this, it's Execration that are happier to go along. I think you can live right, yeah, nice save there from the Oracle. I mean, there's a ton of XP advantage between the Magus and the Invoke. A ton of gold advantage for the Magus as well. Maybe the Invoke can compensate with a nice gank attempt or something. Getting the rune already will buy him some space to finally farm and he's fast to catch up to the Magnus. Whereas on the bottom lane, Necrophos got ran a little bit, but Raging Potato last second decides that with 3 napalm sticks, that's a little bit too scary to go for. Now, however, the Bat Rider Remnant is under the tower, and Raging Potato doesn't manage to set that one up together with BDZ. RPK fan, he would have loved to get a return kill there, but running after the tree and is always the way. And honestly, I feel like Black, they gotta make a kill, or, well, push aggression in any way. Doesn't necessarily just have to be running at people trying to step. Oh, speaking of kills, 1-man RP just to get a kill and get his Clockwork here from Ken, who with the skewer is just going to finish him off. I mean, Spectre's gotta be pretty happy to farm. Finally, having some space without the Clockwork constantly giving her a hug.
Yes, it was stacked for the Magnus.
Yeah, I just looked over there as well, and maybe that would also be a good comeback condition for the deck here. And I mean, it is 8 minutes and we're already talking about comeback. You know the game is pretty darn hard, and well, this could be the return kill on the Magnus that Black could really use. And yeah, he's gonna go down to the Invoker with Tornado. Yeah, I was gonna say that's the comeback condition. Just steal those stacks, make sure all that gold swings around, and that could be the power spike that Team Black may just have been looking for in order to take control of this game.
Dire's middle tower
It's
is under attack.
pretty nice.
Even for a support bat rider, he is now approaching his Blink Dagger, and he feels like rushing that one at least.
Dire's courier has been killed.
Clockwork also just coming in, snatching last hit. Gonna have a war for these stacks, it would seem like. But how much of a war really is it? No, maybe they can catch somebody else. No. Instead, I really like how Black just keeps throwing spells into the stacks. A rocket key, a free tornado there. Just make sure that they secure as much gold as possible while wasting precious time and space from the Magnus. And all of a sudden, this game is looking a lot more balanced, a lot more.
We're setting for people to secure that small stack after they already lost most of it. Was probably an efficient move.
Well, looks like Execration may be looking for more than just a stack if you don't have enough creeps to farm a couple of heroes. Even with the Haunt, it's just gonna be 50-50. You're going to with the Pier.
Has been killed.
Over. Oh man, these teams they running and not fighting. Hunter has a rabbit ready, waiting for the first big to be committed for a fight here for the first like 4-on-4 actual team fight.
Dire's top tower has been denied.
It's Team Black are supposed to be in the pressure, even with them not having a lead, but they finally find that fight with the bad rider kicking off the tree and there, kind of finishing a job. Ready to say the Void Spirit comes away from the bad rider straight into a rabbit. And gets right click. Oh, and that's a 3-for-1. Play second, I think that was exactly what they were looking for.
There's stuff happening about the ancient stick.
Yeah, and Spectre doesn't have a Haunt. What do you make of that Spectre Meteor Hammer?
It's one of those but we've seen a lot of from recently on one natural so so meteor almost people I played me as well, but not a family. I think yeah, is tiny especially all the can it.
That's actually a really good argument, and it looks like speaking the RP, Magnus is unavailable. Are setting it up with the tree and ultimate, but Magnus, no, they don't have any follow-up. 4 people rooted with a Magnus being able to RP all of them, but there's no damage, so Ken just decides to save his RP, try to get it out, and push it on not out of position, and now he's gonna use the RP anyways. Oh man, that was the best possible play from the Magnus there. Although he's been doing such a good job with this, and I gotta say, I would have just pressed freaking 4-man RP when I had the chance. No void. Turret gets back that position as well. Not safe from the Oracle coming in.
Dire's middle tower
It's a great situation. They want to fight this. They want to not get them down. That's a lot easier said than done. Both getting healed out. Out of there. Necropose meanwhile slamming down ultimate on Dragon. But for some tornado and halos. The next victim. Oracle doing a good job saving him. In goes Magnus once again. He's got huge amounts of AoE, this time with power repeat, so we'll get Courier Knife there. As now the Necropose may finally be topping here. But Bo comes back in again, looking for more. We'll go for Cold Snap on the Magnus. And that's what I said about the skewer. It's a great escape, but there's the finish. Setting up for yet another kill. Protector, and that's gonna be
Dire's middle
like
tower is
1.5
attack.
team vibes of
Dire's
an
middle
ultra long
tower
fight.
has fallen.
Team Black, they just kept running at their opponents, and every time Execration felt like Team Black were retreating, they turned around like, oh, still fighting.
Yeah, it actually felt
Radiant's bottom tower is under attack.
from the second.
Oh man, what a ridiculous pump. 8 anchors smashes, freaking 3 colds. You don't see one like that every day, but it looks like from now on, Black, they know they can keep fighting. They're gonna do that, bring down Spectre next. As well as the Oracle doesn't even get to cast on the Spectre to try and save her.
Dire's
Yes,
structures are fortified.
Black, they're gonna keep this up. They're just gonna hitting out, keep hitting force, running their opponent as long as they have enough mana and sustain, which with the propose already I think the Guardian groups when it's Courier
Dire's bottom tower
they
is under
definitely
attack.
do. They can just keep running at their opponents the remainder of the game unless Team Execration is somewhere punishing this. Raging Potato will be the next victim here, and our PK another Reaper type waiting as well.
Yeah, Execration can't play right now, like I said, Execration is so greedy. Yeah. Well, they're just at right now. Stuff, especially the Pyre doing so much top, bringing it low, hitting two like really good damage. Those are clean.
Yes, yeah, it's just gonna be a quick free and kill. Even Reaper type getting, but if Team Black just keep up this pressure, then there really isn't an answer.
Has been killed.
Execration. Technically, they do have an answer. They do have an answer. Just sit in the way. The bigger the game goes, the harder it's gonna be to play hyper aggressive towards Black. But Team Black, they
Dire's bottom tower is under attack.
just running down one after another right now. Tight after self, getting granted, but he almost got a rabbit ready. Execration. It still look like the hunter, but turn it to the prey very quickly here. And the turn around hook shot on Raging Potato. It's gonna go down to the Voice Bird. He's gonna return here. But RR goes out. Voice Bird still juking it out. Raging Potato showing up still off the hero. Trying to create space. Stay alive is gonna cost but so get caught with the next rabbit. 7k gold lead. That is like 9k gold swinging around in 10 minutes.
Did Team Magnus up here?
I didn't actually. Wait, was RP in that fight?
I was up here, hit the ground.
Oh man. Execration, they made me tilted at this point, honestly. Just imagine if times many less as the opposing mid laner and you still end up losing the team fight.
Yeah, but like I said, Magnus was a really bad pick, it's not good match.
Yeah, I mean, I kind of like picking Magnus into Invoker. It has me that's actually pretty great of AoE and RP. Against everyone else, Magnus is really struggling. Back to around.
Dire's bottom tower is under
I
attack.
think Black are really after is the tower anyhow, and they are gonna start working on that pretty
Radiant
quickly.
structures are fortified. Dire's bottom tower is under attack.
I don't know how they wanna stop this squeeze
Dire's
next
bottom
time
tower has
at this
fallen.
point.
Yeah, Necro also for of Discord helping the team out and their map. With the bunker, with the Batrider, the CC team's P3 and Batrider getting initiated on, but guess what? It was all a bait. There is the lasso onto the Spectre. There is the ultimate already having committed the two-man toss. Set it up for more kills. Potatoes. He's run out of
Radiant's
there.
courier has been
Gonna
killed.
live thanks to the Oracle ultimate, at least for now. Sounds like very at the mark.
Radiant's top tower is
What's
under attack.
what's stopping Guard from, all of this? How goes the Spectre?
Radiant's middle tower
That's
is
the
under
notice
attack.
actually. 10k gold lead, and Black, I think they just want to keep doing this for as long as they can get the Raging Potato already in the process of only 19 minutes in the game and you got a deep cut, and he is getting read by the Invoker. Invoker doesn't have an interrupt for the Pizza. Bottom lane, finally a return kill on the Batrider, and every return kill, especially on Magnus, because yeah, he doesn't really have a game, he just gets tied like I said, but it's something like AKB is which he's going for right now is gonna help, and afterwards he may just want to consider a Blade Dagger or something. Also, Titan can literally just 3-shot.
Oh, Oracle catched.
Oracle.
Oh. They're getting out.
Dire's middle tower
3-man
is under
tornado
attack.
there, I saw. And now the Necrophobe's coming in. Our new Vince is looking to turn around by healing his Invoker. And both still running for a side, but there's the first heal. And he's fine, as long as the Necrophobe's next to him anyhow. But we're going for a really attempt onto the circle there. Blitz from his team. Not the smartest of moves. Raging Potato just trying to get some space, but this time I'm not succeeding because there is simply too much catch for him, too much crowd control. And that's they just want to straight up finish this. Going for the Roche next, and I think then we're gonna see even more hyper aggression, even more of that super aggression push.
Radiant's bottom tower is under attack.
Oh, wait, she could cause somewhere. Oh, well, bottom lane soloed by 2 o'clock.
Roshan has fallen to the ring.
While the corners Black, we're gonna go for the Roche. Now, bad right. Once again being caught is a possible. Now can hold him and both running down at him. Take the Oracle ultimate, there's the Ram, and 4 people who will try to make quick work.
Dire's middle tower
Potato.
is under attack.
And our other Uncle's gotta be next victim. Magnus can save the tree and canceling the P here, but it's gonna go down. It's gonna remain dead for 40 seconds.
Radiant's bottom tower is under attack.
That's gonna be the tier
Dire's middle tower
2
is under
tower.
attack. Dire's middle tower has fallen.
Easy,
Radiant's bottom
getting
tower
killed
is
off
under
once
attack.
again. Turn around by more than just awkward battle. Again with the hook
Dire's
shot.
middle tower is
And
under
that's a
attack.
tier 3 tower in 22
Dire's
minutes.
middle tower
I
has
think
fallen.
this tier is maybe over even faster than the last one.
Dire's middle barracks are under attack.
This hyper aggression is
Dire's
being
middle barracks has fallen.
incredibly hard to stop.
Radiant's top tower
It's still
is
a
under
top tier
attack.
2
Dire's
tower,
middle
but
barracks has fallen.
So the first time I see a spell for Manta what is the future?
Dire's
I'm not
bottom
sure.
tower is under attack.
mean, maybe
Radiant's
if you
top
haunt
tower
or
is
catch
under
somebody off guard, but it seems like too little too late when the enemy is standing there, 5 man in your team's peak tower. That Rider is gonna get caught, he's gonna get saved, so with the focus movement, I think there's the RP that Mark would set just for this moment. That's 1 down, 2 down, and goes worth the it's gonna be the next one dying here. And Oracle's gonna go down. Even with 3 man, 4 man RP, a ton of complete damage on anyone, there's just no chance for winning team fight for Execration, and it seems like this game is just hopeless, but honestly, I suspect so much in the current meta. Is that hero actually as good as pro players think it is?
Dire's bottom
Yeah, it's actually really strong, but I mean, yeah, just actually probably need hero to play. That is not much. I don't think it's team. If you're not to play,
It's pretty hard. I have a team called Execration. I am so pretty triggered by this man. 24 minutes to the game like that. I mean, honestly, yesterday we had like 3-1